Hi, this video is for the HCEA training module. I'll be starting this by explaining what HCEA is. This presentation will take the place of the in-person meeting that will be held next week. However, the in-person meeting will be necessary in order to complete IRR training. So first of all, welcome to the Healthy Campus Environmental Audits held at the University of Tennessee in the spring of 2017. So first of all, why is assessing our environment important? As many of you know, your environment can affect your behaviors, in addition with individual factors and social factors. These can also affect our body weight or our BMI status. So what is a built environment? Well, a built environment is any man-made surroundings or any setting for human activities, which can include buildings, parks, green spaces, transportation systems, walkability in a neighborhood, and food access. So what is the Healthy Campus Environmental Audit, or as you'll hear it called in the remainder of the presentation, HCEA? Well, it was created by Dr. Tanya Horacek at Syracuse University. And the participating states are connected due to the USDA Healthy Campus and Community Research Consortium, also known as HCRC, which also participate in the Get Proved project. So other states, other universities are also conducting the same audit so that we can compare between university to university. And this is designed to rate the healthfulness of the environments between universities. So, how do we prepare for a training? So step one, you're going to click on the link that is embedded in the PowerPoint presentation that you'll also be provided with. And you'll want to self-enroll in the course with the code HCEA. And that does have to be all caps. Now, this is done through Blackboard. We call it Course Sites, but it's done through Blackboard. So you either can sign into your existing Blackboard account, or you may be able to use, or you may be able to just sign up for a new account, which is what I did to keep things separate. And most importantly, please bookmark this page. So, navigating the site. I'm actually going to exit out of my PowerPoint now to show you a little bit more about the site. So your course site should look like this. If you ever need to get back into it, you can see where it says BB Preview. Sometimes it may say Fall 2016 HCA audits. Mine happens to say this. That's okay. So your overview, your home page should look like this. And this left toolbar is how you're going to navigate the entire site, which is really important. So this introductory page will show you, explain exactly how to navigate the site. But the first thing you want to do in order to prepare to do your audit is click on HCA Overview. You're going to read the overview listed here, and then you're going to complete the following introduction trainings, which are short presentations or videos, just kind of explaining a little bit more in depth about how the audits were created, why built environment is important. And we're using a new platform called Versal that they're trying out that training as well. So you're going to watch all three of those videos to absolutely start with. Okay. So let's talk about the audits for a minute. So you've been assigned an audit already, but just to give a quick overview, the fresh dining audit is for restaurants. A lot of times we're looking at healthfulness of foods offered, if they have special dietary options, if they have nutrition information available, and even sustainability of their utensils and to-go containers. We're comparing on-campus and off-campus dining options, including the hall, fast food restaurants, grab-and-goes, and even full-service restaurants that may be on campus. The shelf audit is also the convenience store audit. In the convenience store, we're looking for similar things, healthfulness of foods, but also pricing comparison. So are healthy foods more expensive? Are fresh fruits and vegetables available? And if so, are they good quality? Vending machines, we're looking at labeling, promotion, pricing, and healthfulness of foods and beverages offered in vending machines on campus, including all different types of buildings on campus. Walkability, bikeability. So what we're really looking for here is how safe and what is the quality of pathways that students frequently use on campus. And it can be on and off campus as long as it remains within our campus perimeter, which you'll hear explained a little bit more in some of those HCEA overview videos. The Recreation Center audit really looks at the exercise programming, the availability of courts and fields, the hours of operation, and this can also be on or off campus as long as it remains within our perimeter. We also have a policy assessment, which really just helps us figure out if there are even policies in place currently on campus to address many of these health and wellness issues. However, this is not going to be completed as part of these particular audit assignments. So now that you have an overview of what it is that we're going to be doing, and if you've watched the 3 training videos, you're now prepared to do your individual audit. Each person is only assigned to one audit. So when you're thinking about all these different audits I just talked about, your focus is just to know one really, really well. So we're going to sign back into Core Sites using the same link here, logging back into your account. And the other thing that you may want to check is what your personal audit assignment is. So this is a Google Sheet. We'll be using these frequently. You should be able to click on it. Let me go back in here. You should be able to click on it and view where you are assigned. And so, for example, Abigail is assigned to restaurants or dining audit, so she will only complete the dining audit training. Okay, so let's go back to our PowerPoint now. So this is the point that you want to know your audit inside and out. So we're going to use that left toolbar again to access your assigned audit. So let's go ahead and take a look at what that's going to look like. All right, so let's do the dining audit for an example. You're going to click on Fresh Dining, and the only thing you're going to go into at this point is training and preparation, okay? And so you are going to complete or look at all of these tools in order as presented until you get to the 2 quizzes here. Now you're going to see the enumeration sheet and the submit the enumeration sheet here. Those 2 items are something that no matter what audit you're on, you're not going to have to worry about. So everything above that is part of the training. There are a couple videos, a couple of them are just documents. Go ahead and you want to peruse all that and watch all the videos. Once you've completed that, you can actually move on to your quizzes. So the first one you'll want to complete is the HCEA training quiz. And you just want to take it. I believe it's 10 questions. You can take it as many times as you need to, but you do have to get 90% or above in order to pass that training. Similarly, for the audit, your specific audit training, take it as many times as you need. So once you complete your 2 quizzes and feel like you know your audit fairly well, you are prepared to just look over your tool and make sure you really understand it. Any questions about how to conduct your audit or any specific questions when you're looking at a tool and you're like, I don't understand what this question is asking, feel free to email it to me at any time. If you're having any issues with any of the training, feel free to email it to me. So this is the point in the presentation where I'm going to give you an overview of what we're going to do at the in-person meeting that actually incorporates the IRR trainings themselves. But at this point, this is where you should stop doing things on your own. So up until this point, these are all things you can do on your own after watching this video that you should be able to complete. So at the training meeting, we're going to actually be going out in the field. So you have to complete 2 training audits in order to pass IRR. What that means is you go out with a small group of people. You guys individually do the data collection, but you can discuss it. So you want your responses on each of your data collection sheets to be an 80% agreement with your group in order to pass, okay? And this training portion is absolutely required in order for you to complete the audits that you have. Now, what's going to happen after this particular training meeting is our IRR information is going to be run by Syracuse. I will email them and say, hey, these audits will need to be checked, see if they're at that 80% agreement. In 2 or 3 days, I should be able to email you back and say, you guys did a great job, you passed. And at that point, once you get the email saying you passed, you may start your individual audit that you are assigned to. So one important thing is, in order to get that 80% agreement, is the reason that we have to meet to do that is it's imperative you go to the sites together to ensure the environment is the same. Now, audit assignment. So once you find out you passed, how do you know where to go? Okay, so you're going to be completing the same audit, for example, a dining audit, but how do you know where you're supposed to go? So once you find out you passed, I will send your group a link to a Google Sheet. That Google Sheet will have specifications about what restaurant you are going to be doing to complete your audit. You may have 1, you may have 2. It just depends upon how many are within our area. I would say you would probably more likely anywhere from 1 to 3, with 1 to 2 being much more common. Now, I put here these take approximately 1 hour a piece. It's a lot harder the first time you do one, but the second time you do one, it does get easier. All of the audits are due by March 15th. So at this point, once you know what audit you're doing, you have until March 15th to complete that audit. However, it has to be done by that date. Do make sure to check and see if there are any differences in campus dining during any breaks or weekends. So I believe this falls kind of near spring break. Just make sure. And if you're unable to complete your audit on time, please let myself or Chelsea know as soon as possible, so we can make arrangements with you to try to figure out how to get the data collected and complete. So what do you do when you actually go out to complete your audit? You know where to go, you know when you're going to go do it. What do you need to do? Well, first of all, you need to take an iPad or a mobile device. It is easiest to go ahead and enter the data immediately. However, there's always the possibility that something can go wrong. No Wi-Fi, your technology fails. So it's absolutely imperative that you have a paper copy of each survey in case of technical difficulty. So basically, you would fill out the paper copy at the site, go back to your room, and fill out the electronic copy the same way from what you wrote on the paper. Also, it's nice to have a permission letter for the manager. A lot of times when you go in to do an audit, you ask to speak to the manager, explain what you're doing, give them the letter, gives the contact information for Dr. Colby if they have any further questions, and obtain permission to do your audit. A lot of times I also print off audit directions or instructions in case I get confused about a question. And if all else fails or there's an emergency, you can always contact me. We are going to prepare these packets, I call them packets, with the permission letter and the paper copy and the audit directions, and leave them available in the lab. I can specify that area at our training meeting so that you can just run by and pick it up. You can also check out an iPad from our lab as well. Now, once you complete the audit, so you go out, you get your data in, what you want to do is go back to your Google Sheet and enter the completion date and your initials. And this is basically your agreement saying that you did complete your assignment. And then if you need to return your iPads or paper copies of the survey back to the lab, do so, please. So at this point, I just want to remind you that if you have any questions, you should feel free to email me. A lot of the in-person things will be explained a little bit more in depth when we meet together. And like I said, if you've never done the audits before, they can seem a little intimidating, but you will go out with a group. And after that initial group and you doing it once or twice with your group, it is very easy to go out and do. And a lot of times with restaurants or the walkability, bikeability, it's really just inclusion in your daily routine. You may go eat there and go ahead and sit down and eat and fill out your audit. Or we may ask you what a common way that you walk is. And so you're just completing an audit on a normal walk for you. So you'll be getting an email from Chelsea or Morgan if she is your instructor about when your in-person training meeting will be next week. But go ahead and complete all of the training up to the in-person assignment. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much.